Thumb, activate!
Hello there, welcome back once again. I am Gazbot, this is Action Activate. And if I'm Gazbot and this is Action Activate, then with me, as always,
it is I. Oh, wrong way. It is I. It is the big dog. We're here once again after you fine folks told us in our community poll what review you would want to see next. If you would want to see Go-Go Loser Ranger, if you would want us to go back to Mystic Force, well, we're here with another Go-Go Loser Ranger review.
Yes, it was tough. It was tight because at first it looked like Mystic Force was going to win. Went back and forth a little bit. So we're here with Go-Go, and you can still keep voting in the poll, but it seems likely that we'll finish out Go-Go and then go back to Mystic Force. Seems like probably what we're going to do.
Yep.
We are on episode 6 of 12. So this is
5. No.
Oh, did I do something wrong?
Well, I mean, if we watch the same episode, it doesn't matter what number it is.
That's true. Okay, I'm going to do this. Do you remember this beginning?
Yes.
Okay, so this is episode 6.
Oh, it is 6. Okay, then yeah, we're on 6.
Okay,
so this episode, I have to admit, and Gazbot doesn't know this either. This is the first episode that I watched dubbed.
Why?
Because of scheduling, I had to take care of some work stuff, and that was my window of when I could watch. So I did that.
Did it make it weird?
It did. So part of it was weird. Also, I always planned on watching at least one of these in a review cycle dubbed for comparison, because traditionally, back in the day when I was quite a youth, I would watch everything dubbed. So there are certain animes, like any of the Dragon Balls, I have to watch dubbed. Most other things I watch subbed.
Right. Well, and I'm a big believer of what you start with is going to be the one you prefer. And there are certain things I watch dubbed as well. But I'm not a sub purist. I think back in the day, it made a much bigger difference than it does now. I'm just more like how I start is like how I like to continue. And so the fact that you change midway, it's like, oh, everyone's gonna have the wrong voices. That's so weird. Like,
so I will say, I do like the voice acting cast in the dub. I prefer the sub so far.
Okay.
In terms of tone, just because so much of it is like hyper dramatized, I felt like, where it was just dramatic enough in the sub, if that makes sense. But it was interesting. There were a couple people where, like, how I thought they were going to sound, they sounded that way. And then other people, I'm like, oh, this is totally different. Like, D sounded different, but also D always used his voice for him being in disguise, even in the flashbacks. So, like, I can't tell, because this was the first dubbed I watched, if that was the voice that he uses all the time or just because he's in this disguise, if that makes sense.
So you don't know if that's his natural speaking voice as a monster.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But it was cool. How we watched it aside, I did like this episode. I did like further lore building, where the biggest takeaway I got was we found out what each kind of color represents, which I think is really cool.
I also, it's such a dumb and obvious like thing, but I loved when he was like, it's a gun now. Like, I liked it.
Yeah. I do like that these are essentially blade blasters from Power Rangers, like blade blaster lightsabers. I did. What did you think of the structure of the final exam? So full context, just because we're going to jump around a lot. All of the cadets are entering a final exam. It lasts 3 days. They have 3 30-minute sessions, one session each day, to try to take down one of the members of a faction. And then
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, and then if you beat a member of that faction, they give you a key, then you're able to be recruited by that faction.
Right. That was a little bit, I mean, theoretically it's straightforward, but it's like, let's say, because they all said work together. And especially towards the end, D was getting everybody, all the different factions to work together. So let's say they managed to get the red key. Does that mean D and the other guy get recruited, but no one else does, like to their factions? And like, what if the other guy, like he ended up helping, but what if he didn't? Does he still get a chance even though D did it? And like, like I didn't understand the formalities of how they could win.
To me, it seems like when they get a key, that faction or guild or whatever you want to call it looks and goes, oh, who got the key? And then they kind of do like an after actions breakdown. And it's like, well, so-and-so took down this member. Okay. Do you want to get recruited into red or whatever? And then I think if they work together enough and they get all of the keys, then it really is a thing of a true draft.
Together and did a great job and got like 2 or 3 of the keys. And some of the most helpful people were like the potential green recruits, but they didn't get the green key. Even though the green people did, like it seems like a weird.
But you can be cadet for more than one cycle, I believe.
Right. No, yes, you can. And they made a point of saying some of them had been there a while. But I guess, like, let's say I'm on the green. I want to be recruited by green. And we do all this teamwork. And maybe I take out the red guy. And I got the key from the blue guy. And I helped him. And I was an MVP. But we just didn't happen to get the green key. All my buddies get recruited and not me. That doesn't seem fair.
Well, it's a thing. It could be a thing where you could be potentially recruited by one of those factions. You go, no, I really want to go green. I'm going to go back to the academy or something.
I guess there just seems to be an element of randomality to it that I don't like.
Yeah, that's fair. And they did call it out. They're like, I really want to be in red. I don't want to fight yellow right now or green or whoever it was.
Yeah. I do think that the tests, the very beginning, it's like clearly like the holodeck virtual reality thing. The monsters are played by higher up Rangers, I guess. They're not cadets, but they're not,
the junior Rangers, yeah.
Sure. But so they're fighting real people, seemingly with real weapons and real like exploding car. Like it seems like they're trying to kill each other.
Yep.
Like they hit somebody with a car, they're blowing stuff up, and it's like that seems intense. Like I know that we're supposed to understand that the organization is corrupt and all this other stuff, but at the early levels and like with the people in there, aren't they supposed to like believe this is like if this is like the military in America? They might have to go kill people. They might have to blow things up for the greater good, but they don't kill each other in training. You know what I mean? Like that makes no sense.
I think the thing for this is how this original organization was founded. It gave me like Hunger Games vibes, where it was like, in order to go to the next level, you have to do whatever it means to get there. And if some people die, it's collateral damage or whatever. And I think that's been in place since the beginning of like their war with the monsters. And now that we know all the behind the scenes stuff, they're like, no, this is the system and how it works. And you guys got to fight these monsters. And only a handful of people know it's all,
because it's a life and death for the fate of the world every week. But we're like, but it's not, it's a show. And yeah. Okay. Fair enough. One thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say for this, were there any particular recruits that you liked or disliked this episode?
Well, it's weird. I will answer that in a minute, but first I would say Hibiki, but it's D.
Yeah.
And so it's this weird thing of like, I kept forgetting he was D because he's playing the role so well. And it makes me think like, this is what Hibiki would do, but I don't actually really know that. Yeah. So I'm like, if Hibiki is how it's that sort of like, I'm the underdog, I'm not the strongest, but I have heart and I'm going to teach us how to work together. And like, I like that. I appreciate that. So I like D the best.
Yeah.
Or I like his portrayal of Hibiki. Is that who Hibiki is? I don't know. So putting that aside, the only one that stood out to me at all was I think it was, I forget if it was green or blue, but the girl with the cat ears that drew stuff.
Green. Oh, I think she wants to be green. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an artist. She's an artist, whatever. But there was something interesting about her. They gave her a few seconds. Like she has some vendetta she wants to do. Why is she wearing cat ears? Oh, she's a good enough artist that maybe she shouldn't be doing this. But she, so that made me interested in her.
Do you think that D witnessed the event that bowl cut guy wants to kill somebody over?
Quite possibly, yeah.
Okay.
I think especially, and maybe it's even him, who knows, like, or one of his buddies, because they did that thing that anime does, like that monster or that man or that, and I don't know what the
because of what happened. What did happen? It happened.
The vagueness, but specifically, I don't know the Japanese language. Like, I feel like it's one of those things, like with honorifics or certain things, which like we could translate, but it doesn't. It's like a cultural thing that doesn't 100% translate, or it's a trope in their media that doesn't 100% translate. Because I've seen a lot of animes where they specifically will say, I have to go see that man, or I have to get revenge on that person or that woman. And they'll say it in a way where it's like, I'm not telling you who it is, but just the fact that I said it that way means they killed my father, or I need to get revenge, or they have my money, or like, and so it's that thing. So that monster, there's some super significance to it. And yeah, so if D is not somehow connected to that, I would be shocked.
One thing that I found interesting, speaking of connections, is the yellow Junior Ranger. I didn't notice her helping D at all in this, which I found interesting. I kept waiting for it to be like okay, quick, like I'll chop the guy and we'll pretend it was you. Like,
I couldn't remember if she knew it was D.
Yes.
Okay.
Because she cut his head off a bunch of times, remember?
As Hibiki?
I
thought he was somebody else.
I think it was the first time he was Hibiki.
Oh, before it was like the full plan. Well,
yeah.
Here's what I'm saying. She caught him just doing his own thing. And you're right. She did, but like now that he's like fully replacing him and not just sneaking in, I don't know if she knows that, or she could.
Yes, because I believe also the first time that D ran into the red guy that he has a vendetta with, she helped bail him out because he was like, didn't know how to be Hibiki.
Yes, but I thought that was before he had the deal with Hibiki where he was gonna replace him essentially.
It was that, but I think this whole time she's like, I clearly know which is which. Yeah. And like, you're not that good of an actor.
Yeah. She probably, whether or not it was explicitly said, she probably knows. You're right.
Yeah.
And yeah, she did not seem to be helping.
I did like that mask that that guy wore, by the way, after being injured.
It felt very like old school tokusatsu villain to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'd step out of the show. What? I am Dr. Death Evil of the Steel Evil clan of
Planet
Death.
Steel Man Planet Place.
I am from the Iron Pentacle world.
With the army of X.
Yeah. And this guy with his ego, he's a good fighter. He's getting his butt kicked.
That was the thing when he's like, I got 10 times as many kills. Got pummeled immediately. Blood flying everywhere.
Yeah. He's good at video games is what that looks like. I mean, he seems like a decent fighter, but I guess they do make it clear that these higher ups are just way better. It's like, and it is like, you need to use teamwork, but it almost seems like even if they use teamwork, how are they going to take down all of them? It seems like they need teamwork to take down one of them.
I think it's a thing. Once they figure out how to take out one, it'll kind of snowball.
Yeah. I was disappointed that turning the two of them against each other. I mean, eventually it worked out, but like I thought that was going to really work out, you know?
So I'm a little confused on it, and I can't tell if I'm reading into things or like it actually happened. So as we skip forward more, when there's the big smoke explosion.
Yes, which I love. Once again, D not strong, but like clever.
So D keeps impersonating the other person in the smoke, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was impersonating the other one to get them to bump into each other and get on each other's nerves.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, but it kind of worked. But I thought it was gonna like really just result in them beating each other up or knocking one out or like distracting them. So everyone like so it was a good plan, but it seemed to not kind of go anywhere. Really?
Yeah, I agree.
Mean, it did work. I mean, people are gonna be like, no, remember she hit him, and like, yes, I know that happened, but
yeah, I agree. There was like this whole episode I thought was cool, but the fact that there was little to no resolution, I think, was like a little disheartening, just because I think we've been spoiled where every other episode something.
The pacing on this episode was not slow.
Yes.
Every other episode was very brisk.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think this one had fast pacing in the episode, but the overarching plot, it was like, we are stuck in this one thing that's going to move pretty quick.
Yes. I do like there's a line D says when they're like, he's in the smoke or whatever, and then I think it's when he decides to impersonate them, and he's like, they're not scary, they're just strong. You know, they're not. I'll show them what scary is. And I don't know, it's just a cool thing of like, yeah, they're strong, but that's
My favorite line from D is when he's like, "Hey, Bullcut, you're really weak. Definitely don't come in here and help me. Just stay over there, you peasant. I'm going to fight these guys because you're worthless.
Oh, this is the girl. I think it's green because she's got they're not cat ears. They're barrettes or like hair clips, but they do look like cat ears to me.
Yeah.
I like that, but what I like even better than that reverse psychology is then when it works, he's like, "Oh my god, you're so easy to read." like he throws it right in his face too.
I did like that guy actually that we just saw in the van. We didn't see him a lot this episode, but I felt like I related a lot to him. Of like, he's not being helpful. He's just not diving into getting wrecked really quickly.
Right. He's like, I see an opportunity to take a shot, and I will. And
he's like, I'm slow. Like it's for anybody who plays paintball, it's the guy who doesn't run right away.
Right.
That's what it felt like to me. I was like, I'm helping from afar. I liked the square off here, especially with the smoke. But again, it was confused. I'm pretty sure the blades is what was supposed to give it away. But again, like I am not the smartest, so I'm
wait.
Not
Did he
100%
have
sure.
a red blade?
He had a blue blade right there.
But is he supposed to have a red blade?
That's what I believe. I believe he has a red blade. They
also showed him pick up a blade off the ground, so it's like believably picked up.
Well, when it switches again, when they bump into each other in the reverse,
right?
I think that's when it's supposed to happen. And this, I liked this strat. Yeah.
Right here is when he gets the drawings.
Yeah.
I thought he needed the drawings to impersonate them.
That's what I thought too.
So that means that up until this point, he is the correct person. And they are just bumping into each other, which also makes his plan even weirder because like they're already mad at each other, I guess. But that also means he does have a blue saber, whether he started it with it or not. The real version of him has it. Because this is when he first starts transforming.
Yeah. Yeah, see, he has a red one there, but he had a blue one a second ago.
Yeah. So maybe that's D impersonating him with the actual red saber. Like it's a little
I think when D is impersonating, he has the blue.
Yes, but look. This is him getting the pictures.
Yes.
I back up.
But we don't know if that was necessarily a flashback or not.
You think that was a flashback? I thought this was going
to explain it, because then you would say, why does this guy act weird and have a blue saber? And it's like, oh yeah, he got the pictures.
I guess, but then I mean that makes sense, except that why would they do a flashback? I thought it was just
because of the effect they use on the smoke. It's hard to tell if he is truly like dusting to another spot and reforming. That's the part that I was confused by.
I think that's intentional.
Okay.
Oh, this is the part you like it, where he's like, "Oh, get out of here! You can't help, you little." Bitch.
He's like, "You can't even stand up. You're worthless. Go away."
Yeah. Which also you could see at the end where he's like grabbing his leg, and it's that sort of begrudging. Oh, we hated each other, but now we're like partners, which will work better if.
Why do they keep flashing back to this?
Because that's where he got the idea of the strategy. Because he's like, at this rate, you know, like he's like, stop pushing me. You push me, I'm not going to do it. If I say don't push you, then you won't. And that's what gives him the idea to like, yeah.
Got it. Okay. I kept thinking that was real time, so that was me being dumb.
Well, that was me catching on a flashback that you didn't catch on. So
again, I was full transparency. I was mildly distracted watching, so I didn't catch 100%, but I caught a good chunk.
Gotcha.
Again, good action here. Like this episode didn't have outstanding action, but I thought it was still pretty solid.
It was fun. The action was fine. I did enjoy. A big part of the show I enjoy is when D uses strategy and is competent. You know, like because he's a terrible fighter, really. Yeah. But when we see how he is good at, battle, not fighting, but like battle, like I appreciate that.
What was the thing? A little bit closer to here, when he actually squares up against the red junior ranger, I really liked that shot when he slashed him.
Oh yeah, the up. We went down and then up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, that's after the credits.
Yes. Okay. I was gonna ask if you saw after the credits, and that answered my question.
Yeah.
Again, just intro and outro of the show are awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
There, that one. That was the thumbnail for Hulu for me.
Oh, I try to not look at the thumbnails if I could help it.
I didn't have any context, and then I'm like, oh, now I know what's going to happen, just because it makes perfect sense now. But until the end of the episode, I didn't get the full context.
So he comes in with the down slash, and then Boom! I felt like that huge like sparks. I guess it's because they hit the mask, and yeah, that's wild.
So I think the swords are like programmed funny. That's how I took it. Where like he's like, you can't do headshots, which is why it sparked and it didn't like cut his head off.
Oh,
because they used him in the training sim earlier, and that's why he's like, headshots don't count. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah, I did cut the mask,
but that wasn't his face. If that was a full strike, he would have cut his head off.
Right, and then he's like, then they both almost kill each other, but it's like time's up.
Yeah.
Now the next 2 episodes are going to be the same thing as my prediction. Like 2 more episodes of this.
I think they're getting at least 1 key next episode.
Maybe so, but the next 2 episodes, I think that's a good prediction. But I think the next 2 episodes are going to be them doing these trials.
Yeah.
Which
I'm cool with.
Is interesting, but it's like, remember we talked about like, how are they going to make this mission last forever? It's like, oh, well, I guess if he actually has to make it to be a ranger, okay, that could take a while then.
Yeah. But again, I like this. I guess my question to you, assuming he makes it, what faction do you think he's going to be drafted into?
Well, he's going for red, which is not.
Which I don't think he's going to get.
No, he should be. I think blue was tactician, or
blue was like big picture, I think is what they said, or something like that.
One of yellow, pink is support.
Green is paperwork.
Yeah, was yellow stealthy attacks?
I think yellow was like, stealth missions.
I mean, stealth missions make sense, but I want him to go to red.
I think he's going to go to green.
I want him to fail upwards. I want him to never be a great red fighter, like keep winning battles and like sideways getting in there and succeeding, even though it's not really his strength. I think that'd be more interesting to me than if he gets slotted somewhere where he fits in.
I think he's going to get slotted into green, which has the least to do with fighting. And then he's going to be like, how do I get to be with these rangers if all I'm doing is paperwork and data?
But there is a green dragon ranger? Is that what they're called?
Dragon Keeper.
Dragon Keeper. There is a green Dragon Keeper, so there must be a path to that.
But that's the thing. I think that'll be the next hurdle he has. He's like, okay, cool, I got drafted, but I'm not in the fighting guild or whatever. So, like, how do I get to him now?
I could see that being entertaining, but I still like my idea better.
We'll see. We'll find out. Please don't spoil if you've already watched or if it says it in the next however many episodes. But until that next episode, I have been the big dog.
I'm continue to be Gazbot.
He has a Grimlock shirt. I have an Ink One Power Ranger shirt. And to the power. See y'all later.
And credits.
Caw. So funny seeing two Sentai toys in our hands here that we didn't think would have official and unofficial Power Ranger seasons, but here we are, reviewing both.
Yeah, official and an unofficial. That Rail Riders episode we did had more views than like the last 20 videos we've put up.
Yeah.
So I hope there's a new Rail Riders episode soon is what I'm saying.
I think it's about every 3 months.
Okay, so every 3 months we'll get a lot of views.
But he said it's a five series.
Every 3 months, ending in 3 months.
But Gem Paladins, I think, is going to be the next one. That's going to be I forget the name of it, but the other.
I think by the time that comes out, we're going to be back to Mystic Force. Well, actually, you know what? I realize there's 12 episodes of this up, and I just assumed there's 12 episodes, and we're halfway through it. But there could be a lot more. I don't know. I didn't look into it.
I didn't either. That's a good question, but we'll have to find out.
See ya!